Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Radash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayath Adabadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere citations. Okay, this afternoon's lesson is entitled No Guts, No Glory. Okay? No guts, no glory. Alright, so if you're not willing to at least take a risk, you're always trying to play it safe, you're not gonna ever you're really not maturing, you're not growing, you're not developing. Sometimes you gotta take that extra step, take that leap of faith. Get yourself out there. Okay, you can't stay stuck in your shell, as they say. You gotta come out eventually, at some point. You can't be too timid or too scared of everything. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and just get right to it. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 39, starting at verse 1, and it says, But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies. Verse 2, he will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. Okay? So, talking about a scholar or a wise scribe, someone who's willing to, as the saying goes, if you don't know the history, you'll never understand the mysteries, because you have to go into the past and dig deep and find out those mysteries and how it all ties together to the present. Okay? That's how you're gonna find out. You gotta dig deep, you gotta search. You can't just as another saying goes, reading is fundamental. Okay? As the scriptures say, let me get it real quick. The book of Revelation, chapter 1, starting at verse 3. Let's see. Yeah, Revelation 1 and 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Okay? The time is at hand, man. Excuse me. The more you immerse yourself in these scriptures, man, the more you lock in, the more you meditate thereon. Staying occupied in prophecy, man. This is going to be at the forefront of your mind 24/7. It's, you're going to be obsessed with it. You're going to be like, shit, I need to know more. I need to dig deeper, find out about this, find out about that. You have to stay hungry. Stay hungry for knowledge, man. Now going back to Sirach chapter 39, I'm going to drop down to verse 8. Ecclesiasticus chapter 39, verse 8. He says, He shall show forth that which he hath learned, and shall glory in the law of the covenant of the Lord. Verse 9. Many shall commend his understanding, and so long as the world endureth, it shall not be blotted out. His memorial shall not depart away, and his name shall live from generation to generation. So, a man in his wisdom, a scholarly man in his wisdom, to be remembered from generation to generation, if he leaves behind a legacy, that declares his wisdom. Okay? People will marvel after that. People will reverence, they will respect it. because the one thing that makes a great name for yourself is wisdom. But then again, our name is vain. The name that will endure forever and be known throughout all generations is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. So really, yeah, to a lower level, yes, we'll be admired and remembered for our wisdom through these scriptures, but ultimately it's Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai using us to, glorify his name and make his name known. Verse 10, nation shall show forth his wisdom, and the congregation shall declare his praise. Okay, so everyone will speak of your intelligence, your understanding, and the congregations will declare his praise. Your reputation is approved. In verse 11, if he die, he shall leave a greater name than 1,000, and if he live, he shall increase it. So if you live, your reputation will increase, and if you pass on, you will leave a greater name than 1,000. Okay? You'll be respected throughout many generations. People won't forget that. Okay, now we're going to the book of Job. The book of Job is going to be chapter 8 and verse... No, still not chapter 8, Salaki on that. Job chapter 23 and verse 10. Okay. Job chapter 23 verse 10 says, but he knoweth the way that I take. When he hath tried me, I shall come forth as gold. So, verse 11, my foot hath held his steps, his way have I kept, and not declined. Verse 12, neither have I gone back from the commandment of his lips. I have esteemed the words of his mouth more than my necessary food. Okay, so, excuse me. Real men, as Elder Apostle Gabar says, being in this, it's better off being alone in this truth, man, and not having, a significant other, because you don't need a distraction, right? So the best way to describe this and break it down is that, real men are tested. Real men are built in silence. And when they mean by silence, in fact, let me get the etymology of it. Now, silence, let's see. Built-in silence. So silence is just basically, in solitude. Just when you're not around people and it's quiet and it's still, and you don't have distractions, you're excuse me. You're able to slow down your thoughts, eliminate irrational thoughts, and just clear your mind and just focus. Okay, being alone, it takes immense fortitude to withstand being alone, but at the end of the day, loneliness, it teaches you peace. Because it teaches you mostly how to focus on building yourself rather than, let's put it this way. You could take the population, you could put every single individual in a room by themselves, no TV, no nothing. Let them just sit there. They'll go stir crazy because they don't have no mental fortitude or discipline. They don't see, when they're faced with loneliness, yeah, at first it's gonna suck, it hurts, and to a point it can be scary. And I'm, speaking of myself first and foremost, I've been alone the majority of my life. I really couldn't trust anybody. Didn't really have any friends, so-called friends, because people were just fake as hell and they were shady. You couldn't trust nobody, and I wasn't one to play games. So yeah, to a point, loneliness did get to me, but eventually I saw the beauty in it, and it taught me, to value my own peace and to focus on me. So real men are built in silence, they're tested in discipline, and they're defined by their actions. Our discipline every day is being tested to see how much we have grown, how much we've matured, to see if, we're better than that person that we were yesterday. And we're defined by our actions. Your actions speak well of who you are. All right, this is going to be the book of Job again. It's going to be chapter 8, verse 5. Excuse me. My allergies are acting up, so bear with me. So this is the book of Job. Chapter 8. Salakia. Bear with me a moment. This thing is... Okay. Salakia on that. So Job 8 and 5. And it says, if thou wouldest seek unto the power betimes and make thy supplication to the Almighty. Verse 6, if thou wert pure and upright, surely now he would awake for thee and make the habitation of thy righteousness prosperous. And verse 7, though thy beginning was small, yet thy latter end shall greatly increase. All right. So, shall greatly increase. So you start off small, and then eventually you start to, you gain more. So when life gets hard, it means something better is coming. Always believe that. Because, real men real men are tested in adversity, and as well they can endure the adversity. Okay? The strength to overcome adversity, that's the sign of a true individual, and they hold their integrity. Look at Job, for example. Look at what he went through. Yeah, so you start off with little, and as you continue to fight, go through that fire, you're gonna come out on the other end as pure as gold, man. Pure as gold. And hopefully that's us, the acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. All right, next is going to be the book of 1 John. This is the book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 4. No, chapter 5, verse 4, and it says, for whatsoever is born of the Most High overcometh the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. Verse 5, who is he that overcometh the world, but he that believeth that Yahushua is the Son of the power. Okay? So the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. Yahushua did it, and we're walking in his stead, so we are to do the same. Lord willing that we are predestined to do it. Lord willing that, we are predestined to do it. We were preordained by Yahweh to make it, man. That we are those men and those believers that are able to go through that fire, endure all the adversity, because these people, because persecution is right at the door, and they're going to start pointing fingers at us. So, are you going to be able to stand? Are you going to be able to stand 10 toes down? With your loins girt about you? It's going to be humiliating. It really is. But can you withstand it? Because the scriptures say, 1 Corinthians, excuse me. Let's see. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 4:10. We are fools for Hamashiach's sake, but ye are wise in Hamashiach. We are weak, but ye are strong. Ye are honorable, but we are despised. So, people look at us sideways like we're fools, idiots, nobodies. They laugh, mock, and scoff. But to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, we're honorable, we're wise, we're strong. Okay? Having this truth and knowing the scriptures and how to break it down, that's the first step to spiritual power. I mean, it is spiritual power, but it's on a minor level. We have the power, but we're just not fully yet. We're just not at full throttle yet. But that time is coming, though. And that's the thing here. So let's see. Spectacle. 1 Corinthians 4:9. For I think that the power hath sent forth us, the apostles, last, as it were appointed to death, for we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels and to men. So yeah, we're made a spectacle. In fact, let me get that word spectacle real quick. The word spectacle goes into a theater, a place in which games and dramatic spectacles are exhibited, and public assemblies held, a public show, but a metaphor, a man who is exhibited to be gazed at and made sport of. So, to be gazed at and made sport of. So a person who is being watched by a whole crowd and meant to entertain people. But we're not meant to entertain people. We're not here to entertain you. And the Greek word for spectacle is theatron.
Strong's G 2302. Theatron.
So that goes to the word theater. All right. So, Lord willing that this was edifying unto the body and to the few sincere believers and listeners. So again, man, no guts, no glory. Standing out there on the highways and byways in front of all those people who come up against you, mock and scoff, cuss you out, try to embarrass you, try to make you look stupid, this or that. It takes guts to do that. And the Lord says, fear not the incredulity of their looks, right? Don't be afraid of what they say to you or say about you, or if they threaten you. Don't be afraid, because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is right there with you. Fuck these people. And with that, I would like to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Hashem Rakak Radash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayath and Dabadah, the elect house of David that are scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharala, Wa Abad Babal, Shalom, Barakatam.